why am I single by choice? This is quite an interesting video because I just want to explain something really, and it might come across as a bit strange, but also I think I've got my kind of reasoning behind this, and it's something that really is a massive topic of conversation for me. I pretty much get, well, let me explain first. So as someone who's in their early 20s, I'm 23, literally the topic of being in a relationship, being with someone, it's probably the number one kind of conversation topic that just pops up usually between friends, sometimes people you've met but that you know for a little bit longer than just met. But anyway, if I was to have a conversation with my friends, I will guarantee you 100% that at one point in the conversation, given that it's fairly long, the topic of, so who are you talking to at the moment, or is there anyone that you've been talking to, or what's your relationship status, or something like that. Basically, the point is, it just happens. That conversation is literally inevitable. It always happens. And it's quite funny because it's just so common when you're in your early 20s, I feel like. And even if you're potentially even slightly younger than 20, maybe when you're 18 or 19, and maybe I'm assuming it's probably the same when you're in your mid to late 20s as well. Maybe not as much as in your late 20s, just because I reckon people would have settled down by then, but I still think it's probably still quite a big conversation topic. And yeah, if you really think about it, the reason why people in their early 20s, when they're a bit younger, have this as a main kind of talking point is because, well, biologically, I guess, where we want to be in a relationship, we want to it's the idea of just reproduction. It kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I just feel like it's just, I don't know, it's always a topic that comes up, and it gets quite boring, to be honest. But I'm going to explain the reasons why I've chosen to be single. It's been a year and slightly over than a year for me, but I have mostly been single before I was in a relationship. But yeah, this whole year, the whole of 2022, I was not in any sort of relationship. I wasn't talking to anyone, nothing like that. And even now, it's still the same, nothing's changed. And there is a reason for that. And the reason is because when I was in a relationship, my focus obviously wasn't 100% on my ambition, on my passion. And because of that, there were times, a lot of times, where I'd become complacent. I'd be satisfied, but not complete. And I didn't really, I knew this for a fact during that time, but I didn't want to admit it because it felt like defeat. It felt like, that I have given up. But I didn't want to admit that because, like I said, it just felt like I've lost. And I think when you are in a relationship, you can become complacent, for sure. I mean, I'm just speaking from experience, but I think there are also some relationships where it's very healthy in the sense that both parties know each other's goals and they're kind of in unity to work towards that, and I think that's amazing, to be honest. But I also think it's quite rare. I don't see many people like that. I don't see it too often. But yeah, the reason why I really want to stay single is because I know, like, when I was in a relationship, a lot of my time would go into obviously the relationship, but also just, I don't know, just like, obviously you have to spend a lot of time physically there, meetups, go on dates, whatever, but also like it's mentally you're also there as well. And not saying that it's a bad thing to be in a relationship. I don't think it is a bad thing whatsoever. I just think that sometimes when you have priorities, you just need to realize what is your end goal, and how can you use your relationship to benefit that, rather than use it as, or leave it as a resistance, a path of resistance towards your end goal. You don't want that, right? And yeah, especially like the problem is, right, I just feel this is such a huge problem. A lot of my friends, I would even go to say about 95% of my friends and people I know, we just talk about relationships, and it's all we do, because, like, either you're in one or you're not. And a lot of people that I know are in one. Like, my friendship group back at home, now everyone has got everyone is in a relationship. I'm the only one that's not. And sometimes I do get teased for it. Like, I know it's banter, but like sometimes I do. Like, I get told, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, and deep down I know personally that, you know what, like, I'm not ready for one just yet. I'm not even nowhere near complete as an individual, or like reached the level that I want to be at all. So why would I want to get into a relationship at this stage? I don't think it's the right thing. And also when I just kind of like see everyone else, they definitely are complacent, in the sense like after work it's just literally FaceTime till bed, then work again, FaceTime, work. And I was also living that lifestyle, that routine at one point, and it is definitely not productive for me, for sure. And literally, like, I don't know, this is another big thing, but everyone is just chasers. So many people that I know just chase and chase. They're all on dating apps, and swiping, meeting up, going into the weekend with a date basically, and then coming out with the next weekend with a new date, and it's just like a constant chase for a dopamine high, basically. That's all it is. And it's quite sad, because when that happens, I just feel like it's quite similar to the analogy where, like, oh my god, there's a lot of people in the gym, so wow, this has never happened before. No way. Alright, oh god, this is mad. Yeah, when you're just chasing and chasing and chasing, you really you start, first of all, living not in the moment. And I just don't think, like, I just feel like it's very hard to benefit from it. Like, very hard. Alright, here we go. Finally got space. Yeah. Extremely hard to benefit from it. And this is the problem, like, literally, if I was to go out with my friends, it would 100% the relationship topic will pop up. Then they'll be like, how come you're still single? And then it will be like, why aren't you on dating apps? What's the reason for this? Why aren't you going on dates? Etc. etc. And this is where like I want to draw the line. I just don't want to at this point. The reason is I'd rather kind of use that time to, you know, improve on the things that I want to improve on, so then I can build upon that, become a better person, and when you're ready you can kind of step into that world. But I feel like there's a lot of urgency with people our age, and I kind of get it, because I guess like no one wants to be felt like they left behind, you know. No one wants to be single by their late 30s because they feel like they're gonna die alone, right? So I get it. It might be something from that stems from fear, but at the same time, I think in the bigger picture, if you look at the bigger picture, if you can just sacrifice a little bit of time, you know, maybe a year, maybe 2 years or something, I don't know, and if you can just really use that time to really put that effort directly and focus it on you and the areas that you want to develop, you're going to become such a stronger person, that just naturally things will start falling into place.